Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am here with my March plan with me and I'll just get right into it. So I've already cut out the Dutch doors. I typically do a Dutch door layout for my weeklies. And what I'm doing is I'm using washi tape to kind of add some decoration on these tabs. So I end up putting washi tape on both sides and then cutting the excess off, and it leaves a little bit of a border on the page, and then it also leaves the tab looking a little bit more decorative. So that's what you can see that I'm doing here. And then once I'm done doing that, I go through on this layout and I do rounded edges with this cutter. You can find them on Amazon. This is an old one that I got from my mom for scrapbooking. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this is the back, so this is the last page. So I kind of work from back to front, if that makes sense. So I'm adding some craft paper, not really craft paper, scrapbook paper to add some decoration. And then on this back page, which is going to be my memories page, I'm adding this beautiful paper that I got off Amazon, which will be linked in the description bar below. So it is a very translucent kind of, I would say rice paper almost, but I'm adding that for the background of this page because I am going to add some pictures and stuff onto this page for my memories. So then I'm adding the headers. So I'm using some washi tape and some sticker craft paper. And then I'm using these letters to put memories up at the top. Now, these letters, as you can see, typically have some trouble sticking. So it takes me a minute or two to get these to stick down. So once I'm done with that, then I'm going to add a little bit more decorations. I added a sticker from one of the January Archer and Olive theme boxes up at the top there. And then I am adding some cardstock paper. I ripped off the edges a little bit and did a little rounded corner down there. Added some washi tape and then another little sticker. And here I am trying to figure out what I want to do for my little calendar that I'm going to put at the bottom of the page over here in the corner, which will be able to be seen from any page that I'm on because of the Dutch doors. So I added some washi tape under, some decorative paper, and then ripped out a little spot and then started to map out the numbers. I always try to map everything out with a pencil before I write it down because it just kind of helps with mistakes, which you will make them. I make plenty of them in this video and on the regular. So the best way to combat that is to map it out with pencil first. So then I am now doing the header for my master task list, and this is in kind of a hand lettering font. And so I added a sticker with just some little areas there to write stuff down, added a little silver border, and then added the header for the page that is going to be next to it. So this page here, this is a new one for me. I haven't done this one yet, but this one is basically every day you write something that you love about yourself. Self-confidence is something that I struggle with. I am a pretty confident person when you meet me, but really I have quite a bit of insecurities about myself. So I'm hoping this is something that will kind of give me a reminder to think positively about myself and that we are all amazing humans, and the things we can do are just incredible, and our bodies are incredible no matter what your body looks like, what size you are, what color you are, and it's just something that I felt was kind of needed for my mental health. So I'm really hoping that this month this will kind of help with all of those insecurities that I hold. So adding just some more stickers and some more embellishments to kind of give that a junk journaling theme. So now I'm going to work on my mood and habit tracker. So I'm adding some scrapbook paper. This is kind of a textured dark blue-gray paper, and this is going to be the background for the mood tracker. I'm adding basically that scrap that I cut off from that back page. I use a lot of the scraps that I end up cutting off in this spread, which is something that I am a huge fan of. I have multiple places of scrap paper, and I try to work from there as much as I can. Down on the bottom here, I am essentially making a background for the bottom of this page with some more scrapbook paper. And the scrapbook paper that I'm using, this particular one, is from Creative Memories. And this one is super pretty. It's kind of like a textured look, if you will, and it's double-sided so you can see the back of that. So once I'm done cutting out the inside of that with my X-Acto knife, then I go in and create the boxes for my mood. So I do 6 that I use, and I'm doing something a little different. You can see I numbered down the side here, and what I'm gonna do is basically write almost like a 1 line a day thing for my mood, and write it in whatever color that I pick for each mood. So yeah, I'm gonna try that and see how that works. So I'm adding another little silver border there, erasing all of the excess, and then down on the bottom I wrote key on some of that sticker craft paper, and then just added a little flower down on the bottom, doing the numbers in silver. And then in this little craft area up here, this little rice paper area, I'm using an acrylograph pen to write tracker. And then the next page is my habit tracker. I love the way I do my habit trackers. I don't think I will ever change how I do this. I'm so obsessed. And it makes me so happy at the end of the month looking at it. So I'm doing a little decorative background with some of that scraps that I didn't use for some of the other spreads of that leaf translucent paper. And then I am adding some more little scrapbook paper for the actual habits. And I'm going to write those down on here. I'm doing 16 this month. It seems like a lot, but it's like normal things, but I do have pretty bad ADHD, and this definitely helps me a lot. If you suffer from ADHD, anxiety, and depression, you are familiar with sometimes the struggle of getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth, doing your skincare, just like the normal functions that people don't really ever have any issues with. It sometimes can feel like you're trying to cure cancer just doing them. So I write all of these down, and I really enjoy filling them out throughout the day. And then I'm adding some more of that sticker craft paper, and then writing the key in a silver gel pen. And then I go in and actually create the graph for the tracker. So this is typically how I do my habit trackers as of late, and I'm just really enjoying it. So I create this little box and do all of the lines, so that way every day has a little box and every actual habit has a little box. And as you saw in the flip through for my February one, it looks so pretty once it's done. And I pick colors that match the theme. So this theme and these colors, like the grays and the blues, are just my absolute favorite. I am completely obsessed with how this whole month theme turned out, and it just gives me winter vibes and just calm vibes and nature vibes. And March sometimes is pretty snowy, sometimes it's not. Like yesterday was 80 something degrees here and last week was in the negatives. So Missouri weather is out of control. So once I'm done creating all of those boxes with a ruler and a fine liner, I'm going to go in and add the numbers. So I'm using just a felt tip fine liner and then that silver gel pen again to create these numbers. And once it's all done, I think it looks awesome. And then down on the bottom here, I just added, I felt like it needed just a little something. So I added some scraps of that washi tape, that grid washi tape, and then also added a little quote. And then the last thing is the actual header of this page, which I ended up doing down on the side, and I wrote habit in a hand lettering faux calligraphy font, and then tracker in that same bluish gray acrylograph pen from Archer and Olive. I do not know the name of it, but because I did not write them down and they don't have them written on the ones that you get in the individual or in the collection boxes that you can buy, like the whole sets, which I wish they would, because it would make it so much easier. So moving on to my content planner, I am adding that same sticker craft paper. So you can see up in this top right hand corner, it is a roll of craft paper, and again, that will be linked down in the description bar below. But I am a huge fan of this craft paper. It is so cool, and it's got a little bit of like antique-y distressed look. So then again, that same like feathered translucent rice paper, I am adding down, or at the very top of it, and kind of bringing it down to add a little bit of texture, and then cutting off the edge. At the end of this, I use this entire page, this entire page of rice paper, and I think it is awesome to be able to use your scraps, and that's why I love junk journaling so much. And I wouldn't necessarily call this truthful junk journaling. I would say it's like more of a mixture between that and like a scrapbook look. And this has been so much fun for me to do lately, and I just love the way it turns out. So once I add that, I am adding the header, which I used again, that same acrylograph and the Signo Uniball whatever pen, just in the metallic silver. And then I'm going to start adding my boxes. So the way I set up my content planner, which may not be relevant for most people, but since I do have 2 YouTube channels and 2 Instagrams and 2 TikToks, I'm trying to get better about posting on this channel and just being a little bit more organized in my social media posts. So each page is for each of my channels. So I've got K in the Bays, which is a horse related channel, and then obviously this one. So I have a spot for YouTube videos up at the top, Instagram in the middle, and TikTok at the bottom. So I am just making 4 different graphs and adding 31 days in there, so that way I can color them in on whether I posted or not. So if I posted, it's one color. If I didn't post, it's another color. And then once I'm done making those, I'm adding in the details for my YouTube tracker. So I add in 6 boxes, one for where I can check it off if it's been filmed, if it's been exported, if it's been edited, if the thumbnail's been done, if the description's been done, and if it's been posted. And then I'm adding just the numbers in for each day of the month down here in these boxes, to which I will color them in. these trackers have been pretty helpful, but it's been quite a crazy couple weeks for me, so I'm hoping this month I can get back on track. So you can see me adding in the boxes up at the top, which I filled in with a Tombow dual brush pen. And then down on the bottom, adding some more of that gray cardstock paper. This is where I am going to be tracking my growth. So I will, at the end of each week, add how many followers and subscribers I have for each of my channels, and each section will have, there'll be 3 sections, and each section will have, I just did 4, even though there's technically 5 weeks in March, I just wanted to do 4. So then I am adding some more of that scrap that I cut off on the top of one of the pages, stuck that down, and then wrote growth down on the bottom. And I just did that with the white version of that Uniball Signo pen. I love these pens. They're thick, but they do end up working really, really well, and it is a very bright white. So then down on the bottom, I'm actually adding the boxes now, and I'm using the same acrylograph pen that I've been using throughout the spread. And next to growth, I used one of those same stickers from the January accessories box from Archer and Olive. And now I'm just using a white acrylograph pen to create the background for these boxes, so that way I can go in and add the counts for each week. And oops, I'm sorry, no, I was right. I did do only 4 weeks, not 5. It's Thursday, and my brain is fried after this week, and I know I'm late posting this, but it has been a month. So now that my content planner is done, I am going to go in and start creating all of my weeklies. So this is how I've been doing my weeklies, and I really, really enjoy this style. So obviously we have the Dutch doors, and then I create 8 boxes on each page, and depending on what the style of the month is, sometimes I fill in these little backgrounds here. And this month I did do that for quite a few of these weekly pages, and I really just like the way that it makes like the boxes pop, and it's just fun to write your to-do lists in there. So again, using some of the scraps of that craft paper, and I'm just essentially creating the background of this box to where I can use like a white gel pen or something to write on there, just to give a little bit more dimension and a little bit more zhuzh to the weekly planner. So down on the bottom there, just added some washi tape and a little sticker that says "Make It Happen," and some of those borders. So those border packs come with white, gold, and silver, and I've been obsessed with them. And then I add the numbers of the day and the numbers of the week. And then that is done. After, again, I add a little sticker from that same accessory box from Archer and Olive. On to week number 2, using a little bit of that excess feathered rice paper and using a glue stick to glue it down on the top. I would recommend, if you don't like using a glue stick, if you do have one of those glue tape things, make sure that you have one that's clear, because since this paper is translucent, if you say use like the Tombow one that I have, that glue is essentially like a light blue and it shows through the paper. So just a heads up there. And with this spread for this weekly, I did not end up coloring in the background. I ended up using this Rytech, I think it's one of the antique collection ones, and I ended up doing the framing of the boxes in that and did not color in the background. I did do this box in a Tombow dual brush pen, and then added another of that little sticker craft paper box. again using the Archer and Olive acrylograph, and then switching between silver and that blue one. Then going in and adding the days of the week, and you can see where I messed up here. I wrote the wrong one, so I ended up taking again some of that craft paper and just going over and fixing it. So there's so many ways that you can fix mistakes in your spreads. And then adding some washi tape and a little sticker that says no excuses on it. Moving on to week number 3. So for this week, I ended up again using some of that excess sticker craft paper, some of the excess of that cardstock paper, and then went in with a very light gray Tombow dual brush pen and added the outlines for the boxes. And then after I do that, I go in and color in the background behind here because I thought it just needed something else. So I really do enjoy coloring in these pages with the Tombow dual brush pen. There's just something very therapeutic about it. It just makes me so happy seeing like crisp lines. I don't know. So again, made an error with the numbers and just went in and fixed it with the acrylograph pen and did just a circle over there. Then going in with that silver gel pen and adding the days of the week. And I kind of switched between using a all capital font and a cursive font, and then over the silver I wrote with the white gel pen. And then down on the bottom added a little bit of that rice paper, had some scraps left over, some washi tape, a little border here, another sticker from that Archer and Olive theme box, and a little silver border. Stuff like this can just add so much dimension to your spreads, and I'm so obsessed. So for the last of the weekly, I am using this silver grid washi tape down the middle between, and then adding a kind of like a tannish brown border for these boxes, and then I do go in and fill in the background of this page as well. I again just really love to fill in these backgrounds. I don't know what it is. It makes me so happy to do it. And then obviously we've only got 31 days, so this last page does have an extra spot, which I use to my advantage to do some more junk journaling decorating. So I did some scraps, anything I had laying around. I also ended up using this paper, which was from a pack that I think I got off Amazon. I'll try and find it, but there are so many different packs on there that you can find. But this one had a little bit of that blue. So added some of that Archer and Olive washi tape, and started going through some of my scrapbook stuff or my stationery supplies, and just kind of glued on and stuck stuff down based on what I thought would look good. And I think the last thing I did here was add these 2 little stickers that had tried to make it like a cute little quote. And oh, no, there's one more thing. So I thought this side looked pretty boring, so I used the scraps of that paper that I used for the calendar and added that on. Again, messed up the numbers, so I went in and fixed it, and then added the days of the week. And on top of the numbers here, I think I ended up using, the white one. And that is the last of the weeklies. So now that this is dry, that kind of gradient thing I did with the Tombow dual brush pens, added the numbers, added a little bit more decoration down on the bottom, and then we're done with that. So this is the last page to decorate before I go in and do my watercolor paintings for the cover page and for this end of month recap page. So lot of the same stuff, just trying to use some scraps, and I had lots of scraps going on. I used a lot of the items from the January Archer and Olive monthly accessory boxes, and it all went together really, really well. So my end of month recap, I like to do this where I can put struggles that I had during the month, and then also achievements. It can be something as simple as I got out of bed when my alarm went off, but writing them down really does help me, and this writing down the struggles too really shows me things that I can improve on, but also things that I did really well, and that does really help with my mental health because I can be extremely hard on myself, and with all of the things I have going on, sometimes it does make it hard. So trying not to be super hard on yourself and really focusing on the positives, but also recognizing the struggles that you had and recognizing where you can improve is really awesome as well. So that's why I do this. And then the last thing I do for my end of month review is I add a section how I can change to help the struggles turn into achievements. So this is basically the area that I put what can I change for next month. And that is what I did. So I used a brush pen to create the what can I, and then I didn't like how the change this, well, it was supposed to be changed next month, but I also messed that up, and I also didn't like how it looked. So used some little paper, used a glitter sticker for the big question mark, and I think that was it for this page. So now we're gonna get into the paintings, and this portion is pretty self-explanatory. This really wasn't that difficult to do. Watercolor really does, it's really easy to work with, if that makes sense. I am using a mixture between watercolor and gouache. So once I did put down a little light layer of this light brown that I mixed together, and then I started adding the gouache paint on top of it, because you can use it dry, you can use it with water, it can be a watercolor, but I ended up using a little bit of water, not a ton, because again, I'm doing this right into my journal, and while it does hold up pretty well, if you use too much water, you will end up having super wrinkly pages and whatnot. So my inspiration for this was a picture that I found on Google. It was just a picture of a horse that I guess had been turned out or was running around. Its nostrils were flaring. There was just the steam from the air coming from the nose, and it had icicles on its whiskers, and I just thought it was a beautiful, beautiful picture, and I knew that that was what I wanted to add, but I wanted to do 2 different paintings in this monthly theme. So yeah, that's about it. So I am going to go ahead and just let you guys listen to some music and watch the super sped up version of me painting. So I will see you guys once I'm done.
Bubblegum fights on the 3rd floor. Comedy specials at 8. Fishing rod in the quiet fear that what I caught wouldn't be big enough for you and lie and say I did great. And all of the to something that feels so big. And all that I'm left with's a dry throat. I lose my head when you call me up and ask if I'm doing okay. Was it easier when I was younger? Did the ones I love seem rosier? Or was it all the trick you played on me? Nowadays we're all so spread out, a time zone for each of our hearts. When tragedy strikes, will we mend up, come together to say our goodbyes, or will we stay apart and leave it all unsaid? Was it easier when we were younger? Did the ones we love, they seem rosier? Or was it all the trick we played on each other?
Think about me one more time before you go. Someday you'll know. Someday
All right, so now we're finally done with the painting, and I can go in and finish the cover page and finish the end of month review. So I'm just using a silver Archer and olive acrylograph pen to write end of month, and then that same Uniball gel pen to write recap. So now what I'm doing is I'm preparing the cover page. I'm writing March in a faux calligraphy style font with a, I believe this is one of the Stardust ones maybe, from the Jelly Roll collection. And then I cut the painting in half and glued it onto those front pages, and then cut off the excess that came over onto this page for the Dutch door. And then I added a little border right here on the left, cut off the end. That border sticker is from Creative Memories. I added some washi tape and then glued on this like coffee stained doily looking paper, and then cut off the edge there and added on a sticker. It's from a washi sticker, and then also that like little cotton color that had a cute little quote on it, and then added that excess that I cut off. And with that, we are done. I am so obsessed with how this turned out. Here is the flip through for the month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, I will comment down below and I will do my best to answer. And yeah, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
I got so much to say, never thought it would end this way. I've had so many thoughts spinning in my head. I wanna right my wrongs, never thought they would do such harm. You got so many reasons spinning in your head, that's why you